back to another video. In this tutorial, we are going to look at how we can understand the concept behind angles between two planes. Okay, so when we talk about angles between two planes, how do you get it? How do you understand it? Okay, so basically, if we talk about angles between two planes, they are basically the same as finding angles in their normals, finding angles in their normals. So for instance, let's say that ax plus let's say by plus cx equals angles in their normals, right? So plus d equals 0, and a1x plus b1y plus c1z plus d1 equals 0 are the equations, okay, are the equations of the two planes. So if these ones are the equations of the two planes, then their normals will be equal to ai plus bj plus ck, right? And n1 equals a1i plus b1j plus c1k. Okay, so this is their normals. This and that, right? So we know that these are the equation of the two planes, and this is the normals of these two planes. Okay, so if we want to talk about the angles between these two things, between these two planes and their normals, then we can say that n1 and n2, n and n1, right? Basically use n and n1, okay? Is given by n times n1 equals magnitude of n times magnitude of n1 times cos theta. Basically, that is how we obtain it. So this is just like finding their normals, okay? Finding their normals. So that is how we obtain it. N1 dot n times n1 equals the magnitude of the two equations, the magnitude of the two normals times cos theta. So once you have the dot product of this and their magnitude, then you are good to go. You can easily obtain the angles between them. So let's look at a practical example to clarify this concept. But before, note that cos theta will be equal to n dot n1 over magnitude of n times magnitude of n1 over here. Okay, so that is how you obtain your theta. Okay, so you can say that theta is equal to cos inverse of n dot n1 over magnitude of n times magnitude of n1. Okay, so that is how you obtain the angle between two planes. So let's consider an example to clarify this. We are considering this example to make sure we understand the concept behind angles between two planes. Okay, so let's dive into it. So here we know that basically this is the formula for angles between two planes. So we know that this is our first normal, this is our second normal, of which we denote them as n and n1, right? So let n equals x minus z, right? So our position vector for this will be equal to n equals I minus k, right? And also, let's n1 equals y minus z. So the position vector of this will be equal to j minus k, right? So we know these parameters. So let's find the dot product, right? The dot product of n and n1. So n dot n1 will be equal to n is here, which is I minus k times j minus k, right? So we're going to have I times j is 0. So we have 0 here. I times k is also 0, right? Then k times j is also 0, right? And then minus k times minus k is positive 1, right? So we have the dot product between these two normals to be positive 1. So n dot n1 is equal to 1. Okay, we have that. So the next thing is to find the magnitude of each of these normals. Okay, so we're going to have the magnitude of n to be equal to right here, that is 1 squared plus negative 1 squared, and that is basically square root of 2, right? So we have the magnitude of n to be square root of 2. Then the magnitude of n1 to be equal to, that will be equal to 1 squared plus negative 1 squared, and that is equal to square root of 2 as well, right? So we have magnitude of n1 to be square root of 2. That is so interesting. So we have the magnitude of n and n1 respectively. Now we have the dot product between n and n1 as well. So let's find the theta between these two planes. So we're going to have theta equals cos inverse of n1, n dot n1 is absolutely 1 all over magnitude of n is square root of 2 times magnitude of n1 is also square root of 2, right? So we have our theta to be equal to cos inverse of 1 over square root of 2 times square root of 2 is square root of 4, right? So we have our theta to be equal to cos inverse of 1 over 2, right? And cos inverse of 1 over 2, you know the trick shows, right? The trig ratios. You know how to obtain all that. So cos inverse of 1 over 2 is absolutely 60 degrees, right? So we have our theta to be equal to 60 degrees. That is the process. So basically, if you want to find the angle between two planes, then you have to know that there is a normal of the first plane and there is a normal for the second plane. So you find a dot product for these two planes, find their magnitude, then you can obtain the angle between these two planes. So that is the angle between the two planes is 60 degrees. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate your time. Don't forget to subscribe, share with your mates, and I'm going to give you more updates. Bye-bye.